So, walking down a quiet suburb, in the background you can hear a chainsaw, and here is a stump that was a tree. This stump was cut down in front of protesters. They didn't object, although we witnessed it. And the reason we didn't object was because it was diseased. Sad to see it go, but it was diseased. Genuinely. Unlike what the council says about some trees. And protesters just stood by and watched. Well, another tree being destroyed thanks to Acorn Environmental. Acorn Environmental Services. It's worth noting that the actual ex-council staff that are employed still by AMEY to do tree work will not be on scene because they refuse to get involved in this. And some of them think this is wrong. But Acorn Environmental, they're just chainsaws for hire. They'll do anything as long as they're paid.
There's somebody poking their head out the hedge over there. You won't be able to see from there.
Okay.
But if you come around, you can see somebody's actually got their... Look, you come around, I'll show you. Look, just there, can you see?
Oh, right. So they're actually dropping logs right next above that person's head. So they're cutting over someone's head. Let me just get the angle so you can see them just above the sign there, and here we are. So just above that sign, someone's got their head out, and this person is cutting over their head single-handedly. If he made a mistake, that branch would fall on its own. If he fumbles, you can see the cloud of shavings coming out there. Officers, do you think that's safe, what they're doing? They're supposed to have two people manning a chainsaw in a mute. Aren't you supposed to be looking after people's safety?
I don't think that's a question you should be asking police.
Well, you're here to enforce what they're doing gets done, aren't you? If you stop supporting them, they'll stop doing it. So you think that's safe, what they're doing? They're operating a chainsaw and dropping...
You're all right, Tom. Okay. You're all right.
Sorry, this man's coming and he's blocking me. Excuse me, officer. I'm sorry, I don't understand the rights.
You don't need to understand that. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Do you think this is safe?
Let's come out. The health, the risk assessment isn't our expertise.
I've asked on numerous occasions for risk assessments.
This incident is managed by AMEY.
They refuse to do a risk assessment and show it to them.
That's their prerogative, sir.
But
we're not here for that purpose.
They're affecting a member of the public's safety.
No, they're not. She's on the external side of the perimeter.
Yeah, but she's still... I've seen large...
That's not.
I've seen logs that size hit the top of the perimeter and bounce into people's gardens.
Okay.
I've got pictures of it.
Okay.
I'm going to share them with this video.
Okay.
And that could hit her.
That's Amy's concern.
Yeah, the council say they're self-monitoring, but
That's something you need to take up with the council, sir.
yeah, but it's unsafe now.
That's something you need to take up with the council and maybe the health and safety executive. It's not an issue for the police.
It's you're here to protect our safety.
Not from that perspective.
Why not?
So I'm not going to get into a conversation with you.
I know you don't want to stop the operation and stop it.
Continue video, but I'm not going to get into a conversation about an issue with Amy's and the councils. We are here for our...
No, it's the safety of the public.
I'm not getting into that conversation with you.
It's safety of the public that I'm talking about, not Amy and the council's safety. I'm talking about the safety of the public. And it's been compromised by that man cutting above that person's head.
I don't particularly agree, but I will leave that with you. You take that with Amy and the council, sir.
But
it's their operation.
The unsafe action's happening now. So the police clearly not interested in health and safety issues. I don't know if you can just see the hands coming out there. Amy cutting over their heads. The most controversial part of that operation now, but clearly you can see there's a person in the hedge there. I personally have witnessed Amy dropping logs that size out of trees. They thought they were going to come down inside the perimeter, and they've hit the top of these 6 foot high barriers and bounced into people's gardens. I'll post a picture of them recovering a log on Strawn Road earlier this year when exactly that happened. Thankfully there wasn't a protester stood in the garden as there is here, but they're prepared to take the risk here because the stakes are high for them. If he fumbles that, did you see that come down? If he fumbles that, it could end up going somewhere where he hasn't chosen it to go. They should be roping these logs off and lowering them down. It's called soft felling, but for some reason they're not soft felling today. The reason is productivity and saving time. They want to get this tree down. Soft felling would avoid any risk, but they're not taking that option. So there's a log. On this point of view, it's directly in line with that woman in the hedge there. And all he needs to do is cut it too far and it will fall without him grabbing hold of it. He should have attached a rope to that and lowered it down, and he's not lowering it down.
Are you a tree worker then, or what?
I've seen hundreds of these cut down, and other trees they have been using ropes when they're not under pressure, like they are here to get results.
Should it be using ropes now?
Yes, it should. That's what they normally do. That's what they normally do. It's called soft felling. But in order to get this tree down quickly today, with all the expense of this lot here, the throwing logs down over someone's head, which they don't have to do. And I've actually seen a log hit one of these and bounce into someone's garden.
Well, these are not approved by the manufacturer.
Yes.
It could be metal.
Yes, that's true. Especially when crowds are involved. We've seen them snap and fall on top of the people before. Lots of people. Excuse me, you're in charge of the AMEY operation, aren't you? Why aren't you soft felling this tree? Excuse me, this is a health and safety issue. The police suggested I talk to AMEY. Why are you not soft felling this tree? Why aren't you using ropes when people are throwing things over the heads of the... So this is what happens when you try to talk to AMEY. They just run away.
Firstly, I'm not AMEY, I work for Acorn.
Sorry, Acorn Environmental. You're in charge of the operation here, aren't you? Why aren't you soft felling this tree? Why are you taking risks with the public's life? Why aren't you soft felling this tree? Why are you saving money in favour of productivity? Can you explain to me why you're not? Can you explain to me why you're not soft felling this tree? Why aren't you using ropes? All right. Well, I think I got my answer there. Excuse me, officers. Was I speaking? Oh, sorry. Excuse me, officers. I've been trying to speak to AMEY about this health and safety issue, and he's just turning his back and he's gone and locked himself in the toilet. Is there someone I can talk to? He's security. He's hired by them to extract this from. They should be lowering these logs by ropes.
David, those guys are professionals in what they do, right?
And so are you, yeah. And you guys are professionals. You're professionals at removing people from barriers.
Right, that's my job, all right?
Yes, and we saw the professionalism the other day. Yeah, and we saw what you did the other day to that old lady.
I won't call your service professional, not in a week or something.
Don't you worry about my...
I want to know why they're throwing those logs down and not lowering them by rope.
Because they're too bloody lazy.
There's a woman underneath there. What about her safety? Why? If you were doing your job, you'd stop this happening. You're supposed to be here for our safety. You keep telling me that, but you're not. You're here to make sure this job gets done today. That's the only reason you're here, to make sure this job gets done today.
Security.
Oh, do you love it, right?
Yeah.
All I'm saying.